I really should wake up more before doing this. Bless my little heart. I've had the Quest 3 for about 6 months, and I wanted to make a video talking about the things that I liked about it and stuff that I didn't really care for after having it for so long and actually dealing with a lot of issues. It can get really annoying sometimes when you have these things for a long time because you find new bugs and find different things that you don't like about it later on after having the product. I made the initial review of this, and honestly, I got a lot wrong after having it for the 6 months that I've had it. So, the controllers. You have one issue with these things. I don't know if it's just my unit or if it's been multiple units, but for some reason, I guess because my hands are so big and they cover so much of the controller, I lose tracking all the time. The controller tracking is by far worse than the Quest 2. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just because, again, I had a faulty unit. I haven't beat on these controllers a lot, but for some reason, man, they cut out all the time. Any footage you see me of playing any VR games, standalone or PC VR, which I thought it was a PC VR issue. It's not. I play Batman Arkham Shadow, I have cutting out. If I play anything else, I have cutting out. Like, it's more of like sometimes I'll be literally holding my controllers just still and my controller in the game will go won't. And I'm like, damn, what the hell is that? It's just frustrating because, again, when you're playing something that's kind of competitive, like especially if I put both of my hands in front of each other to hold a gun, my front controller will go absolutely abysmal and my gun will just go everywhere because it just doesn't know really what to do. Obviously, it could be one controller covering another, and that's a whole different issue. But I think it's a combination of my hand being in the way with the other controller being in the way that just makes it cut out. And that's mostly what I play is really shooting games and fighting games. So obviously, the hands are going to go across each other a good bit. So I think that's why I have so many issues with the controllers. Really can be really goofy. In the first review I did of this thing, I said, oh, this controller tracking's so nice. When it does work, it is nicer. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot more consistent. It's not so, it really feels like it's connected to your hand. But when it does bug, it feels horrible. And it's something that's improving with updates they're doing to it, but it's still a really big issue for me. To the point where I got scared that the little safety straps were getting in the way somehow, and I took them out. So literally they're sitting over there in my windowsill. The software side of this is so annoying. You really can't do anything unless you have a phone hooked up to this thing, which really, again, everyone has a smartphone now or somebody's family has a smartphone, but I feel like you should be able to do the majority of what you need to do through the actual headset. On phone, if you want to check your battery percentage, mine is extremely inaccurate because unless I'm charging the headset with it on, it's not going to be accurate. It's off. I mean, it's charging and it'll say 20% battery for an hour, but this headset doesn't really take an hour to charge. I stream a lot of these games on Twitch and I record for this YouTube channel, so obviously I like to be able to show the gameplay onto my computer, which is what I stream from. I really can't do that half the time because for a long time there wasn't an integrated casting feature for PC, so I kind of just had to wing it, and the only reason why I was able to get that I Am Cat video out long ago was because I had to use the web browser casting, which, if you don't know this already, is absolutely horrible. Its quality is absolute ass. Right before Batman Arkham Shadow come out, the beta version of the Oculus Quest app for PC has a casting feature now, and it actually did work really, really good for the first 5 days it was out. Then all of a sudden, both my audios broke. Both of them, for no reason. I could not get any audio from my headset or any microphone audio. And then, to add on top of that, I got the headphones working. Then I'd be damned, I still can't get my microphone working, so now I have to wear my headphones and have a cable run across my floor that's just all in front of me. Still don't have it working. I should be able to use the microphone that is included with the Quest so I can play wirelessly, because who wants to play this wired? And that brings me on to my next point. Pretty much you have to play this thing wired at all times because the battery life is horrible. I get about an hour and 15 minutes every time I play Batman Arkham Shadow, and I could turn on battery saver mode and, whatever, but I want the highest fidelity I can get for the game. I'm streaming the game, I want it to look its best, and really, I don't need to play much longer than an hour, but a lot of the times when I get into a story game, I'd like to maybe hit that 2-hour mark just so I can end the stream and take a break. But I can't do that. Literally, my headset will not last that long. And like I said about the headphone cable being in front of me, I don't exactly want another cable running out the back end to plug it into the damn wall so I can get more time out of it. I don't want to have to use the Oculus Link cable that I do have for my PC because it's a cheap Walmart one. It don't really work that well. It is kind of like a first world problem complaining about that, but it's still, you would think the battery life would more improve with the new one instead of getting worse. The Quest 2 lasted a really long time. It lasted like 2 hours on battery. But these days, I can't even squeeze an hour out of my Quest 3. And then my buddy Aaron, he has a battery pack on the back. He can't even squeeze a full hour out. I don't know how his is broken. Maybe he burned his battery up by constantly charging it and all that. These new devices, you can't hardly do that. My iPhone, I fall asleep with it on charge all the time. I don't have a problem with that. Why is that still a thing where you can burn a battery up? Make it shut off. That's why I'm using Type-C on that. That's why I'm using damn lightning cable on the iPhone. What are we doing? It's 2024. I shouldn't be able to burn a battery up by leaving it on the charger. Now, I will give it this. It does charge really fast. If I throw it on the charger, it only takes about 30 minutes or 40 minutes before it's full charge again, which is nice. But speaking of being bad for batteries, you really shouldn't plug it up right after you're done using it when it's still a hot battery. I don't really know the type of battery that are in these, but that's just a good rule of thumb is let the battery cool down, then plug it up. Because, you know, a hot battery charging, it's going to get hotter and then it's not going to lose its effectiveness over time. So usually I like to let mine cool off, then plug it up. The head strap, I feel like, is complained about a lot on this headset, but I don't feel like it's that bad. Maybe the back of your head where those two little knots are hurts, but compared to the Quest 2's head strap, dude, this one's not that bad at all. The Quest 2, I used to get an actual, like, migraine from using it. Especially the little cloth knots that are on this thing, really and truly, that's a lot better than the other ones. The other ones were plastic, and mine literally broke. Mine sheared off on one of these ends, like on the inside, and I had to re-glue it and fix it. It was horrible. But these are actually made of cloth and are just woven to wrap around this thing. So it's like this one doesn't hurt as bad because that's still cloth, even though it's like real hard. And it can't break. It'll rip maybe someday in a million years, but it's high quality fabric. I think you'll be fine. Instead of how it's coming straight down, it has this little triangle shape. It kind of puts the pressure right on the back, like palm of your head is what I would call it. Instead of it just having like a band and then a band. Like, it's much more comfortable than the Quest 2s. That wasn't something I was expecting to happen, but it did. They really improved the head strap. And I do want an Elite strap to put a battery pack on it to help with the battery life, but it's not as big of an issue to me as just plugging it up or only playing for an hour, because when I play PC VR, it's fine. And I wish all games weren't becoming exclusive to the Quest 3. I get it. It's like the biggest platform for VR, and everyone's buying everything over there. I wish the developers would work just a little harder and make it cross-plat and then add it to the Steam store where I could like get even more players on VR, because you got to think, you're missing out an entire player base of people with the Vive and the Index. You're missing out an entire player base when you leave it exclusive to the Quest 3, just like Batman Arkham Shadow. I love that game. I don't know why it's exclusive. It would run so much better on a PC, and it would be so much cooler on a PC, and it would probably have a lot less bugs when it's running on a PC. Compared to the Quest 2s, these lenses are great, and not even for the reason you're thinking. Yes, they look better, but I haven't had to clean these more than 3 times the entire time I've owned this thing. I haven't had to clean it more than 3 times. They may put image through better. They may not have as big of a focal point. It's more just you can see everything in the actual lens. Yeah. Whatever. I expect that. The cleanliness of this one compared to the other one is just, I can't even explain it. And I think what it has to do with is face mask, which also that's really comfortable too. I think that's what makes it stay so clean, is the fact that like you're actually just the right distance where nothing's really touching and you're not constantly having your eyes up against the lens so close to try and get that good focal point, where you can kind of sit back and just let the image kind of hit your eye like you would with glasses or something. It's a lot more like second nature, and I haven't had to touch these lenses with a cloth like the entire time I've had it. They stay clean. There's no even a speck in here. And it could also be like how the face mask is designed as well, as it could keep debris out, but I don't know if they really did that as much as it literally just having the right face mask to keep it from touching your face as much. The microphone quality did improve. That was one thing I noticed, is like my voice sounds higher pitched than it did in the Quest 2, but it's a lot more understandable. It's not like I'm constantly mumbling or something. I don't have to keep on repeating myself and stuff like that in the Quest 3 as much as I did at the 2. There was a big decrease in actual audio quality for me, the headphones. I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, and maybe it's just a weird little stingy thing because I do like more bassy audio, but there was a lot of bass lost with these headphones, and it doesn't have that surround as well as the Quest 2 did. And I don't know why they changed that. I don't know what they did different with this head strap versus the last, or however they aimed it. It doesn't feel as nice, but it did take away one issue I used to have with the Quest 2. Sometimes it would play bass so loud, I would feel it on the sides of my head, and I thought like a spider was in my hair or something. It would kind of freak me out. But with this one, I don't have that issue anymore. But I missed the bass. I liked bass, especially when you're playing like Beat Saber or something. You know, you want that quality of the audio, and you just don't get that through the Quest 3 like you did the Quest 2. It doesn't sound half as good. But, I mean, I guess that's okay. It's just, it's a nitpicky thing that I did notice after a long time of using is like, wow, I kind of miss having that high quality audio. And again, that's why the headphones were brought in too, because I'll just use my PC audio if I'm playing on PC. It just sucks when you're playing through the casting and you literally just can't get any better audio. There's no such thing. What I wish they would integrate is this 3.5 millimeter jack on the side. I wish when I plugged the headset in it, it picked up the audio microphone and it picked up the headphones itself. I want to use my headset, and I can't ever get it to work. I don't know if it's a skill issue, a me issue, whatever. I can't ever get it to work. There's an experimental feature where you can use a Type-C microphone, which dandy and great. I don't have a Type-C microphone. I want to use my headset. The pass-through is by far the selling point of this thing. I mean, obviously, when it first came out, that was all the videos that everyone ever made about it. I mean, it's great. I love it. I can literally send a text through that pass-through. I can walk through my house with it. It is crystal clear. I don't know who thought we needed this clear of one, but they landed it. I'm so glad that they figured this out. I didn't think I needed that clear of a pass-through because it's just something that, you know, okay, who's at my door? You know, it's not like something you want to go do anything in. It's not like you're going to be like cooking with this damn thing and you with your head on. As much as they promoted that you could do that, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to have my Quest 3 sitting above a big pot of boiling water. No, it's technology. I don't want it near steam and moisture and no, hell no. But you could do that. You could cook from this thing. You can read the instructions. It's that crystal clear. I can literally play guitar from the thing, so it's got to be pretty good. Selling point of the Quest 3, and the reason why I think you should buy one regardless of all the issues that I talked about here today, is just the community. How open the community is to not only get and become a part of, but how helpful they can be when you do run into these issues and finding out a solution for these issues. It makes it all worth the while. You can go on any Quest forum and find out a fix for some of this stuff. I couldn't find out a microphone for the casting fix thing, but again, when they find a fix, they're going to tell you. I was like a day one of that issue, so I feel like it's a really easy community to get into versus something like, again, when I first started PC gaming, I had to find everything out on my own. I didn't have all the help that we have, and I didn't have, you know, forums existed, but it was 7 years ago, and it was from some guy that built like a damn office computer. It was hard at the start for me to get anything done and find it out without me just having to kind of figure it out myself. You don't have to do that because the community is so open about how to fix things, and they're so kind, and there's so many, I guess I would say there's so many little kids that don't really know what they're doing, and there's some kids or grown-ups that do know what they're doing, and they want to make it as easy as possible to have everybody enjoy their experience. So it's so like easily fixable. Every issue you do run into, you can fix it with ease. That's something I didn't realize was so nice, but having a sturdy community behind something is like bigger than anything else in this world. It's a really sociable thing to use too. Me, I've been homeschooled my entire life, and I wish I would have had one of these things when I was growing up. You can actually sit there and stand in front of people and interact with people and get used to being in front of people versus what I had to do is I had to use my first job to do that, so I was really awkward. Yeah, that happened. But this, for some kids, is probably the only time of day that they have to socialize with people. If they were homeschooled like I was, where they didn't have one thing to go out and do other than get groceries, man, and there's a lot more people being homeschooled, this is nice, man. This is so nice, and this is such a nice thing to get your kid if he is more of an antisocial kind of person that likes to be him to himself, is like it's such a nice way to get out and see people and get to talk to new people. Now, is it always great? No, it can be bad, but just like real life, most of the time real life's bad too. Anyways, that's all I really had to say. Yeah, buy one. I don't know.